What's up, my Gen X and Millennial family? Thank you guys for tuning in to Nice TV. And I got another one for you. Jim Jones says he is more successful and better than Nas. Is it true? I want to hear from your opinion. Okay. We're going to get into statistics. We're going to talk about, is he more relevant than Nas? Okay. This was the discussion that took place on Club Shay Shay. Okay. It was a bombshell. It threw the hip hop world off guard. We're saying, is he serious? Is Jim Jones crazy? Is he smoking that Harlem angel dust? We got to find out. We're going to look at the rap gods album tracks, the ones that we have been singing for years. We're going to settle this today. We're going to break down the sales, the charts. We're also going to talk about the cultural importance of both these gentlemen. Okay, so we're going to talk about the numbers and we're going to talk about the impact. Let's get into it right after. What's up, family? Make sure that you like and subscribe for the algorithm. I appreciate you guys tuning in to Nice TV. So the argument from Harlem is that Jim Jones is more relevant to the culture. Kids nowadays don't even know who Nas is. Is that really true, though? Okay, so this all started with a playful discussion on Shannon Sharp's show. Then it got to be a little bit harder as they started to joust about the relevance of Jim Jones and the impact of Nas and the culture. Jim Jones says that he brought fashion to the game, which we have to accredit him for that. But we're talking about 2008, 2013. Nas has been in the game since the early 90s, paving a way. Okay. So to really hammer this point home, Jim Jones said, my son can't even name one Nas song. So I say, maybe you didn't train your son right. He should know at least one Nas song. Come on now. If he's in hip hop, he has to know one Nas song. He further encouraged Shannon Sharp and others to pull up the billboards and look at the entries. Okay. So look, numbers don't lie. So let's get into it. Jim Jones wanted us to look at the numbers. So let's get into it, Jim. All right. As we look at Billboard Hot 100, these chart the singles, okay, that have went across the country. Jim Jones has landed two songs, which we know. We Fly High and Pop Champagne. I popped bottles and was in a lot of clubs during those records. For comparison, Nas has 26 entries on the Hot 100. So, Jim Jones 2, Nas 27. Let's move on to the albums. What are we looking at? Let's measure this by Nas having 9 albums on the Billboard 200 chart. Very impressive. And some of those actually cracked the top 10. Some artists have an entire career never cracked the top 10. All right. So that's a little different. Nas comes in with 24. Okay. So Jones has 3. Okay. 3 on the top 10. Nas has 24 and 6 of those going straight to number 1. You can't lie about the data. So let's talk about cultural impact and the street relevance. All right. Because that's where this argument really seems to sit. So Jim Jones' point really sits around his relevance right now. Whether you believe that's true or not, I'm not sure, but he does have a legacy. Okay. He had Dipset, We Fly High. They were in the early parts of 2000s. Nas literally ran the 90s and the early parts of 2000. So whose side are you on? Commercial success or the ironclad legacy that Nas has set up? Okay. I want to hear from you guys. I think this is going to be a really good discussion. So who do you think is having a bigger impact on the culture right now in 2025? Keep in mind, Nas did release a couple albums with Hot Boy over the last couple years that caught a little fire. All right, so think about those. And Jim Jones just had a new freestyle that went out. All right, so is Jim Jones' connection to the youth, okay, a stronger impact now than Nas? That is the question. That will prove if Jim Jones is more successful to Nas. Is that a fair criteria for you guys? All right. We laid out the evidence. We talked about the album. We talked about the singles. Okay. Now, this debate is really fascinating, okay, because it really gets to the differences between current and influential figure in the culture that we live in. All right, so make sure you guys comment. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and until the next time, family, peace.